Let's turn to this now. Sibanye Stillwater maintains that it has uplifted the community a year after taking over Lonmin's Marikana mine. Tomorrow marks 11 years since 34 striking miners were gunned down by police near the facility. For more on this, we're joined now by AMCU's organizational development head, Krister, Janse van Rensburg. Krister, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. So Sibanye Stillwater saying, well, if you look carefully at what we have done, we have shared value, we have uplifted the community that is facing hardship. So by and large, we've taken a huge risk even as a business. So we are on the right side of history when it comes to this particular matter. How does AMCU view what the company has done so far?
Hi, good evening to you and your viewers. You know, this thing of Sibanye and AMCU is an old war, turf war, and we must agree that, you know, that Sibanye, the way they do things typically leads to problems in the relationship. We've been trying to rebase the relationship over a number of years, but we are battling. Even though we are making strides, we've made strides with the wage negotiations recently. We are also busy again looking at possibly extending the gold wage agreement. So there's a lot of operational issues that we tend to find each other on. But this issue of Marikana, the legacy, the way that it was acquired, Lonmin, when it was still Lonmin, you know, it leaves a lot to be desired. And we are still battling to find each other on that one.
Have you interrogated the Marikana renewal program that was launched in 2021 and how sustainable that program has been and what are some of the positive features that you are seeing in place beyond the tragedy?
Yeah, you see, the Marikana renewal program, unfortunately, was launched as a parallel program to what AMCU has been doing for years, since 2012. You might know that we've been building houses for all the 44 families that were left without husbands or sons. We've been investing in the community around there. As a trade union with the little funds we have, we've done quite a lot. And here comes what we like to call the Great White Hope, and they want to come and fix everything all of a sudden with a huge PR budget, and, you know, just after they've acquired it. And in fact, I was telling another comrade that one must actually take off your hat for them. They've turned this around and turned it into a PR spin machine that makes them look very good, whereas they have done very little, actually, in the short time that they've had as compared to AMCU. However, it's interesting that the media tends to favor when corporate organizations do something over when trade union and civil society actually does good work like AMCU has been doing for the past 10 years.
Yeah. So for you, I mean, what would have been an appropriate approach to this renewal process?
What would have been great, we've had several meetings with them, is if we could really integrate our plans as equal partners. There were attempts for us to sit together and talk, but frankly, those attempts were always scuttled by a superiority complex on the side of Sibanye management team. And, you know, AMCU trying to secure certain things that have been traditional, cultural things amongst the population, Bapu Bamugale, the chiefdom that's in that specific area. It's a very sensitive matter, you would know yourself. The issue of death, the issue of ritual and rites, the issue of apologies to and respect to the families and those who were injured. And it seems as if Sibanye has been a bull in a china shop with those kind of things, and that's why it's been scuttled. However, I must, as I said earlier, their PR machine has been very good to make things look well. They've always hosted their memorial lecture, or what they call their commemoration, online, because their CEO, Mr. Vroneman, is usually in the United States of America. And they always hire high-profile people to come and speak there. I believe it was Gift of the Givers comrade who we have a good relationship with, who graced him this year. Last year it was Archbishop Thabo Mdluli, which is also a good friend of AMCU. So, yeah, I think they're trying their best.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not a integrated approach.
Yeah.
And, it's difficult the way that it's currently going.
So
even though, as I said, we are working.
You're couching their efforts as a PR exercise. And I'm trying to think, is this because of a lack of trust that is impeding you from actually receiving whatever efforts that they are trying to bring? Because that's what he says. He says there's a lack of trust that is somewhat impeding the progress.
Who said that?
Froneman.
Oh, did you speak to Froneman about
No,
this?
at the lecture.
Oh, okay. I didn't even pick it up. So did he reference AMCU?
Not AMCU, but saying that there's a lack of trust that is impeding the progress of this renewal, historically, yeah.
Yeah. No, what they are doing, remember, PR is easy going outwards, public relations. But internally, you need to look at stakeholder relations. And when you have a trade union, that is your majority trade union, that has spent not millions, tens of millions on this project over the years. For you to just discard them and not validate what they do and what they need and what they want is very short-sighted. It won't work. So they are damaging the trust relationship in this particular project. Even though, and I want to add again, that we've made great strides at other operational facets like wage negotiations to build trust again. But Marikana is it's a raw blotch on the history of our country, let's be honest.
And how are you going to be marking this day? Of course, as the day approaches, there are various activities that normally take place, and there's always a contest as to who hosts the official and who should be the recognized, I suppose, host of the official commemoration.
Yeah, no, actually, there's no real battle. The commemoration is always organized by at the scene, the copy outside of Marikana. It's always on the 16th. The last, 4 or 5 years, we've also done a memorial lecture. That was last week on the 10th. Tomorrow we're expecting a big crowd. We're looking at about 30 to 40,000 people attending. We have numerous dignitaries who come. The interesting thing that very few people understand and know is that we never invite anybody. We've never sent an invitation to anybody in the past, over the past 10 years. People come. So you would see sometimes Musi Maimani would come, Julius Malema would come in previous years, Bantu Olomisa tends to come. So there's a number of people who have a soft spot for the workers at Marikana who come to this event. And in essence, I always explain to my own friends, it's a funeral. It's a commemoration. It's not a rock concert, even though we have gospel bands, some prominent gospel bands there as well. But to a large extent, it follows the liturgy of a church service. Lots of prayer, lots of scripture reading. It is a very wholesome experience. I don't know if you've been there yourself. For me, I've been there 5 years now. Well, this is my 5th year that I'm attending, and every time I'm really moved with what's going on there.
Krister, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That is Krister Jan van Rensburg there.